Hello, good morning, and thanks for joining us here for your 8:30 stream show. I'm Mitch Carter.
And I'm Casey Mason. We appreciate you being here with us. Of course, we're going to recap some of those top headlines from the news today and then get you on over to meteorologist
Yes.
Byron Douglas ahead of that alert day.
Absolutely. Starting off this morning and developing a former Davis County pastor facing some pretty serious allegations involving a child. So on Monday, Kentucky State Police arrested 40-year-old David Rogers of Utica on several charges, including rape, sodomy, and sexual abuse. Investigators say he engaged in a sexual relationship with a juvenile through a position of special trust. Rogers was listed as a worship pastor on Pleasant Grove Baptist Church website. Their website, though, changed on Tuesday morning, and he's no longer listed in the staff section. State police saying this is shocking news for the entire community.
This morning certainly a shock to a lot of people. Certainly not surprising when it's someone that has earned the trust of many people in the community. That does rock small communities and large communities as well.
Rogers is now out of jail after posting a bond, and he's now scheduled to be arraigned next month. We did reach out to church officials for comment, and they sent us a statement, which you can find right now online at 14news.com.
All right, switching gears a bit here now. We're going to talk about a heads up for those in Spencer County. I want to let you know about here. The Rockport Police Department, well, they're warning about several porch pirate incidents over the past few days here. Officers say it's been happening shortly after those packages were delivered. And then they say that there are, of course, a few ways that you can protect yourself. And we're going to kind of walk you through some of these here on your screen. This includes things like you can track your package when you know it's on the way. You can also make sure that you have to have a signature that's needed for that delivery. Other ways include things like adding some motion lights outside of your home or just installing security or those doorbell cameras as well.
In the meantime, officials also hoping to make public transportation easier in Henderson. We now know that HART is doing that with a new app. It's called HART Transit, and officials say it's been in development for almost a year now. They say you can now track locations of city buses in real time. You can see their routes, their schedules, and even get arrival notifications. Officials say the HART Transit app is available for both Apple and Android users as well.
All right, there you have it. Recapping again just some of our top headlines from today. Stand by, though. We're going to have meteorologist Byron Douglas joining you in just a second.
Take care.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
All right, good Wednesday morning on this February 18th. Hope everyone's having a super day. Here's a look at the alert day. We'll bring this full in a moment and bring a few things over. Now, first of all, we'll just take this full. The alert day still holding. We put this in Monday morning for Thursday afternoon and evening. I think we'll be fine for Thursday morning. We'll keep an eye on some storms. We're not expecting a lot of them, but we do have a scattered to isolated severe weather threat across the area. Less concerned about hail, but we have a damaging wind and a tornado threat during that time frame. And we'll take a look at some of the possible timelines here in a moment. But there's a look at the alert day. All right, let's take a look at the Storm Prediction Center. Yeah, we're generally not concerned about today, but we do have a general risk. The interesting storms going up in Michigan, where up in the UP they have some snow, they have quite a bit of turbulence across the atmosphere there. So generally this would carry over tonight. And through 6 o'clock early tomorrow morning, we could see a rogue thunderstorm. So this comes from the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma, with a few storms. And then we have a bullseye level 2 threat across the area under a slight risk for severe thunderstorms. Now this is the volume, doesn't talk about the severity of the storm. So we're not looking at multiple lines of showers and storms or anything like that based on what I'm seeing right now. I think there'll be a case for an elevated, enhanced risk for severe weather, but that could set up north of the viewing area. So just trying to handicap a little bit what might be coming down from the Storm Prediction Center. So this covers Thursday. Now the changes, we want to isolate the changes that you've gone from scattered to isolated down through Hopkins, Muhlenberg, and Ohio counties. And Jeff talked about this yesterday in Arden Stream. It moved a little farther to the north overall, but the storm of the day, if they develop, could set up virtually anywhere across the viewing area. And that happened a few times last year. And this is almost what you would see in mid-April with this tornado threat. Areas here in green, a 5% probability within 25 miles of where you're standing. I think it's the best way to explain it. And then a 2% lesser threats generally across western Kentucky. We had this a few times last year. The storm of the day could be, if they develop, Central City or Greenville. So it's not a zero threat by any stretch across the area. And we could have some bumps up to a 10% probability for even areas north of even US Highway 50. We'll see how it plays out. Of course, we have a damaging wind threat. Here's the wind risk, pretty much what was displayed there under that slight to scattered severe weather threats. So here we go. We're not looking at a flooding threat. I'm less concerned about hail. In fact, these storms may not be big lightning producers. And then that tornado threat sets up across the viewing area along with some damaging winds. So we had some questions. Why do you put the alert day in so early? To give you a heads up. And we had some questions on the stream yesterday. If you have a tornado watch and you live in a mobile home, then you want to go to a different area, a safe area, or shelter, within a basement and interior room, a solid structure. So those are some of the things to think about. On Doppler radar, I'm just going to make a few stops we don't always have time on TV for, but a dynamic system got some thunderstorms, it looks like to about Saginaw, Michigan. And then north of Cadillac, it's snow in Traverse City. So I saw in some of the aviation, some segments there from north there of Detroit. This won't be a factor for us, but I was interested why they were looking at storms there in Michigan. The low for us is going to come out of the downward of the Rocky Mountains, and there's also an additional low out in Tucson. It's going to jump into western Kansas. I'm going to call it the Green Bay low. It's going to be by tomorrow morning in northern Illinois and go up to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and then it's going to cycle a cold front through our area. So a very dynamic system. So I'm not the best drawer, but I just wanted to show you a few arrows of some of the things I was looking at. I just looked at that before we came on the stream here. Here's the forecast for today, and then we'll get to the timelines. 71. If we don't see a lot of sunshine this afternoon, we'll kind of stay in the mid to upper 60s. 51 tonight. In fact, you could see a rogue storm late. And tomorrow, we're fine during the morning. The best setup for any thunderstorms will be during the afternoon and evening. Let's go forward throughout the day. As we take a look, I'm using the graph model here. So we're going to zip into the afternoon, a little bit of sunshine during that stretch. And then very early tomorrow, we're fine. Here we go. At noon, 1 o'clock, we get some storms, a little more active from what we were showing at the end of 14 News Sunrise. So if we would get some type of a watch tomorrow with the wind shear as you go, winds turning with height, we would get a tornado watch. Means ingredients are favorable for severe thunderstorms and tornado threat. Not saying that would happen, but that would be the watch of choice. So showing some storms in here, we might be capped as we go aloft through the atmosphere. It's all where the updrafts, if they'll have enough energy to get going. So that first line was showing that there could potentially be some low top supercells. And this takes us to 7, 8 o'clock. So we had an initial burst there early, kind of a storm timeline between about 2 and 10 p.m. But you didn't see a large volume of storms, so that's kind of, we're classified as scattered severe thunderstorms, but it doesn't break down the severity of them as well. So that's one outlook, and then I'm going to switch over to the HRRR model, which we use a lot for thunderstorms. This takes us 2:30 in the afternoon tomorrow, showing a few storms starting to fire across southern Illinois. So I kind of put a range in, kind of the bullseye time for the metro area between about 4 and 7 p.m. Again, not showing a lot. If this would verify, then we would get through this event fine. But as we come back later today, it could be a little more active. We have new information coming in each hour, and then the front works on through, looking at some showers and storms. So very scattered to severe. So the graph was more aggressive or more active with an earlier round, and then temperatures will kind of nosedive. By next week, we'll be in the lower 30s for high temperatures. In fact, we'll even see that on Sunday. So we'll grab the 7-day full. It's Thursday afternoon and evening. Not a big outbreak of severe weather, and seeing the probability, I include a 60% chance of showers and storms. So it's not like locked in with a 100% chance of showers and storms. And they'll be sunshine dependent as well, how we can get these updrafts and wind shear going with scattered to severe thunderstorms. And then 44 Saturday, and then by Sunday down to 36, 33 on Monday. So that's the latest. Laura, good morning to you, watching down in Dawson Springs and Pulaski, Tennessee. Cheyenne, appreciate watching down there in that nice town, by the way. And Susan, Joanne, I got my glasses on so I can see. Hannah, watching from Owensboro. Your timeline tomorrow would be 5, 6, 7 p.m. if they develop. Danny, Emily, thanks for tuning in. Danny, Martha, and Talma, thanks for tuning in. What's going to be coming down? Well, I'll bring this up here to the top for a second. The Storm Prediction Center, usually between about 11 this morning and about 1, 2 this afternoon. They'll be updating again during that stretch. So there's a look at the alert day. So the Storm Prediction Center will be evaluated. I'm just going to show you because we still have some folks on here. Arden Gregory is going to have more coming up at 11. Right now we have scattered to severe thunderstorms, and it might have been a little underwhelming when I showed you the potential timeline. We're not showing a big outbreak of severe weather. We might just have 4 or 5 active thunderstorms across the area, but of course it only takes one. So scattered severe thunderstorms, and within that we have a tornado and a damaging wind threat. So I'll leave you with that. We'll take that full. And we'll have more soon. We'll have more on our 14 First Alert weather app during that time frame as well. Have a great day. Enjoy your day, and enjoy the day with these mild temps in the upper 60s and lower 70s.